Yeah, so I actually kind of wanted to talk about my team trials, maybe real quick for like a short video. Um, I actually have a pretty good rank right now and a pretty high score. It was probably, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to go back. It was probably a bit lucky, I'm sure, but you have a week to get lucky, so yeah. Otherwise, normally my highest is around 530 to 540. But I think what I really wanted to show is like the key steps to do high team trial scores, even with like not necessarily the best team. And I'd say one of the main keys is to make sure you have Umamusume that can fit in every slot, and preferably different running styles too. As you can see here, I got front runner, pace, late, late, pace, front, end, pace, late, front, late, pace. They're all different except for dirt. I have two pace chasers. The other key thing is to make sure that they are in their proper position in order to use their unique skill. So, like, I could be putting air groove at pace, or I could be putting El Condor Pasa at late, for instance. But I think it's actually better to leave her at pace to more reliably rock her unique skill, because that's worth a lot of points compared to trying to be in good position for the race style. Otherwise, some of my runners are not actually very good, and I haven't improved my team trial team for multiple weeks since I've been mostly focused on improving my champions meet squad. But yeah, I'll just show some of these. As you can see, like, look at these stats. These stats aren't even particularly good. This isn't particularly a high score of mine, but I would say the key is to get gold skills because they're worth the most, and to have like 1 point circle skills. If you get circle skills, you don't want to get multiple points because they're not worth as much. Usually you don't want red skills either. Some of these are definitely not even designed well. Some of these definitely still need improvements. My highest score is more like this, I would say. As you can see, she just has tons of skills. Not necessarily gold skills, but tons of skills. And as you can see, I just went 1 point of the circle in each of them too. Because getting extra points in these circle skills doesn't really matter for team trials. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's a whole lot more I want to cover. Obviously, in the long run, if you want to make a good team trials team, you should probably be running, I would say, you at least want to have a few extra races done, if not lots of extra races. So you want to do extra G1s throughout the career because you want extra skill points. It's definitely worth to lose a bit of stats in order to have extra skill points, because if you can fit in an extra 2 or 3 skills and those skills proc, each of those skills could easily be an extra 1,000 points to your score. And if you're doing it the same on every runner, they should all have similar ranks still, so like you don't have a couple runners just like boosting your rank and making you face difficult opponents. You can have them all kind of similar in that respect. Yeah, I obviously need to improve this a bunch still, but these honestly have been doing fairly decent. As you can see here, I got 3 rare skills. I have taken quite a few red skills randomly on some of these, but I assume part of it is just because some of these are back when I was worse of a player. And also sometimes the red skills were just reduced a lot and there wasn't other choices. So yeah. This one, I'm pretty sure this was actually just designed for champions meeting, so it's not not necessarily team trials, but it ended up being one of my better team trials anyways. Oh, otherwise key skills to look for are like concentration, if you can use or borrow Tazuna. This is one of the best team trial skills because you can actually get strong starts if you have this. I think you can also get it with focus, but it's like rare. But if you have concentration, it's fairly common, and if you get strong starts, that's a big bonus to points on top of a rare skill proccing and giving you a bunch of points. So Tazuna is one of the best team trials scorers. Otherwise, eventually you want to make sure you have the right stat lines, which I need to work on, obviously. It's good to have, well, this is not necessarily good. I mean, this feels like okay-ish, but I would say you generally want one wit card in team trials, because you do want a bit of wit to have good activation chance, whereas champions meeting, usually you avoid wit and you just want a basic amount of 400 wit, unless you're a debuffer, right? But in team trials, you actually probably want like 600 wit so that you're reliably proccing your skills, because your skills are what's getting you points. So that's kind of what I want to say. Now, you don't necessarily want these builds like 1200 wit. I just haven't really made a good Taiki for here. This one just happens to have a good amount of skills, so I've kind of just kept it. But I'm pretty sure this Taiki just runs out of stamina, so it doesn't typically win all the time. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's about all I want to cover in team trials. But I also, like I said, I just wanted to show how mediocre some of my runners are and how high of a score I could still get, just because I prioritized skilling properly for the most part. Obviously, some of them I didn't skill properly. This is a double circle. I got some red skills, which aren't necessarily good. I don't necessarily know what my choices were. Like, maybe I just didn't have choices. But you want skills that proc reliably, you want rare skills, and you want 1 point in circle skills. Unless the circle skill upgrades to a rare skill, then, you know, that's fine. Like a corner adept or whatever. Corner recovery, I mean. Yeah. It's team trials for you. And like I said, you can even get up to this 542nd in class 6 with what I would say is a mediocre team as far as like their actual race strength, but they're decent at scoring. That being said, sometimes my deviation in score is way down to like 380k up to 576 that I got. So I definitely need to improve it so that I don't get those 380ks at all. But yeah, something to think about if you're looking to improve your own team trials team. Like I said, I think the keys are going for swinging Maestro, concentration if you have Tazuna and Super Creek or can borrow those, and then Curvature is pretty decent because it's an alright skill and it's a rare skill. And like I said, running anywhere from like 18 to 20 something, like 18 to 20 races probably, a bunch of G1s essentially, so you get extra skill points while still getting decent enough stat lines, I think is probably ideal. Maybe that can be adjusted. But if you run too few races, you don't have a ton of skills, and if you don't have a ton of skills, even if you're winning the race, you're not going to get a ton of points because you are not proccing lots of skills during the race, right? So something to think about if you're looking to improve your team trial.